Look, he was an amazing character and a character of great depth.
Well, wasn't he just? Good morning. And I think you've seen from the tributes that have poured in from every corner of the globe about what a remarkable legacy he leaves, an indelible mark he made on the world. Certainly, people in the UK have been pouring into Windsor today, even though they were asked not to by the royal family. They were asked to stay at home and remember the Duke of Edinburgh. But there's huge feeling. Certainly, the legacy he leaves with the Duke of Edinburgh Awards are over 4 million youngsters in the UK and throughout the world who have been affected by that. And certainly that will carry on for future generations, one may think, because just this week the website crashed. So many more people were trying to get involved with the programme. So certainly gone but not forgotten, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And you were there at Windsor. Can you describe the mood? The sun was out, it was subdued, obviously due to COVID restrictions. What was it like?
Well, it was incredibly moving, certainly. I mean, just it was a picture-perfect day, not a cloud in the sky, and certainly a calm had descended over Windsor. Of course, because of the coronavirus restrictions here in the UK, it was a very different affair indeed. The Queen had been forced to make some huge changes to the long-held plans that had been existed for the Duke of Edinburgh's funeral. But everything that you did see was in keeping with the Duke's wishes. Certainly, the little quirks of the Land Rover, the military bands that were in the session, and all the music chosen by Prince Philip himself. And certainly a hugely moving occasion. The music was incredibly stirring, the trumpeters, the bugle players, and just a tremendously fitting occasion for a man who gave up a promising career in the Navy to follow the Queen quite literally and give his life up to service to an adopted country.
There was a real relatability about the funeral, wasn't there, when you think of the pandemic, not only in the United Kingdom, but all around the world. And I speak to expats here in Australia, and I attended a funeral service via Zoom for a great friend of mine's mother. And you could see the similarities in the sense of only 30 people there in the chapel.
Well, of course. I mean, many millions of people have sadly lost their lives to this awful disease, and certainly the royal family were wanting to be very respectful of those restrictions that were in place. Just 30 mourners allowed from being in the chapel today. It was extraordinary. There was normally be huge numbers of pews lined up for 800 guests, as would have been normally the case with Prince Philip's funeral. But all that was done away with. Just 4 people in the choir, 30 mourners, 15 allowed at a wake afterwards. Just an extraordinary set of events. The Queen sitting on her own. Those images will be beamed around the world for many years to come. Extraordinary set of images, iconic in their standing. And unfortunately, those images of the Queen just on her own not only belie the sense that she's lost her beloved, her husband of 73 years, but indeed, she was very much on her own because of the coronavirus crisis as well. And they were 2 very pressing issues that were sadly intertwined today.
As you mentioned, the Queen farewelling her husband of 73 years. Also, he was a father, a grandfather, a great-grandfather, and 7 decades of service. It's certainly a solemn time, but also a life to be celebrated.
Certainly. I mean, that is what the family were saying, that they wanted to put their best foot forward. The Countess of Wessex was saying just during the week that the Queen was thinking of others before herself, and how many times have we heard that, and so typical with her duty. But it is about moving forward. It's a potential for this family to come together. I mean, let's not make any bones about it. This family has been racked with controversy and infighting over the last couple of years. And just the images that you saw today, Harry speaking to the Duchess of Cambridge, her then pulling back, then the 2 boys walking up towards the Round Tower together. Could this be the catalyst for a reconciliation between them? Many will wonder that, and certainly be very hopeful within the family that these 2 boys can come together and rekindle some of the relationship that they once enjoyed.
I think many hope for that, don't they? Because often the death of a patriarch or a matriarch in a family will see a galvanising effect. And that image, and we're watching it right here with Harry and William side by side, they walked the distance, talked. It was a really nice thing to see.
Well, it is, and you're totally right. The patriarch has gone, and Charles has to step up now. One would wish and hope, and certainly he looked absolutely bereft today. No wonder his father, his guide, has left him. And now it's up to the boys, isn't it? And William may certainly feel aggrieved of how he's been left to deal with family matters on his own. But again, a strong character, no doubt. He will step up to the plate, and I just hope for all their sake that the controversies that have come over the last few months and even weeks are sort of put to bed for the sake of the Queen more than anything else.
And it was the Queen's first appearance since the death of Prince Philip. We're just seeing the Land Rover that the Prince had designed himself many years prior to his death. But yes, just the first appearance, and certainly, as we said before, that photo, just such a solemn photo that is going to be seen around the world for many years to come.
Well, of course. I mean, again, the Queen wearing a mask, all the mourners wearing masks once they were in the chapel, a hugely iconic moment. I mean, we were witnessing not just history go down because of the Duke's funeral, but you've never seen anything like it. I mean, again, the two boys having to be split up with Peter Phillips, their cousin, in between them because of the deep rift that has existed between them for so long. I mean, it's like a soap opera following this family sometimes. But I think that at its very heart, and this was coming straight from the Queen, that she didn't want anything to detract from the very notion of what the day was about, and that was commemorating the life and service of her remarkable husband. And certainly, I think everyone would have done her proud today, and now it's up to them to see what happened in the future, isn't it? Certainly the Queen will be wishing that they can all come together and help the family heal, but also help the country and the Commonwealth heal, because everyone's had a pretty tough year of it, that's for certain.
Yeah, they'd be very happy it went out with any obvious blemishes. And the sometimes temperamental British weather was on its best behaviour. It was an absolutely sparkling day. Royal Editor of the Daily Mirror, Russell Myers, thank you so much for coming on the show.